Okay, Nick, let's now switch gears and focus on a massive game. Match week 20 is just chucking up some brilliant fixtures, brilliant derby games in particular. The first one is Manchester United against Manchester City, the Manchester derby. I mean, this is huge. Both teams, up there battling at the top of the table where, historically they have been for the last decade or so. But, Man United are certainly resurgent under Erik ten Hag. And my very easy question for you ahead of this Manchester derby is who are the favourites to win this game? Because I would have said City up to maybe a week or so ago, but now I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm really confused as to how to call this one, but how are you calling it?
So here's the thing. I think City is still a superior team. However, when this is not backed by numbers necessarily, maybe it is. My feeling has been when you see a good team, it's happened with Liverpool even in their title year, you see a good team lose a couple games or put on a couple bad performances in a row, that generally hits 3 or 4. For some reason, dips are not one-game dips for really good teams, whereas bad teams can go up and down like crazy. And that's what makes me worry for City. Then here's what happens. We're doing our Premier League predictions, you, me, and Andy, and what do I see? Man United is the biggest home underdog of the weekend. And, and granted, bettors want to get us to bet. The bookies want to get us to bet. But plus 320 from our partners, that's making me think that maybe I'm overthinking it, especially when I watch, your Saints beat Man City at midweek. They're out of a competition. It's probably a wake-up call. That's one silver. The quadruple's gone. That's one wake-up call there that might say to them, hey, we had to bring De Bruyne and Haaland off the bench in this game. Those two guys are trophy hunters. I think we see them come back with a resounding performance, which asks the question, can Man United meet them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are having a wobble, though, City. Even you think about the draw against Everton recently, and just haven't quite looked themselves. Even Ilkay Gundogan said after that defeat at Southampton, which I can't quite believe that actually happened, but he said that the hunger and maybe the desire just maybe quite isn't there this season. And that was really telling to me because Pep Guardiola come out and said similar things about we weren't prepared, we weren't ready. And it seemed like that a little bit. They just a little bit of a stage where some of the players, maybe the motivation levels just aren't quite there. And that's really, you hardly see that with this Man City team. They've been such a juggernaut. So I think the issue for me has been rotation. It's great, right? They have so many great players, such a huge squad. I think Pep's trying to keep everyone happy and in form and worry about the end of the season right now, rather than just keeping a bit of a more settled team together. But they've had FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League games every couple of days after most of their players went really deep in the World Cup. And now maybe we're starting to see that impact of having players who are at the World Cup now coming back in straight into the hustle and bustle of, winter football in England, and all of a sudden it's just hit them in the last week or so. But is there any concern for Man City for the title race for you? Or do you still think, because we spoke a few weeks ago, we both said, yeah, they're still the favourites to win the title ahead of Arsenal. But is there any concern seeing this little wobble, thinking this could be longer term struggles for Pep Guardiola and Man City?
If they lose this, yes. They lose this, yes. And I know it's at Old Trafford, and usually you would forgive. Anything can happen during a derby. But yeah, if they lose this, it's absolutely a big concern. And the reason being, I think they are well suited to win a game like this normally. But Man United now at home have some canny operators who are used to being in this position against teams. Think about the years that Real Madrid were down, but Casemiro and Rafael Varane were prepared for Messi and Neymar. They were prepared for this situation. And I think that sort of drive, along with a very informed Marcus Rashford and a Bruno Fernandes who's showing good leadership, I mean, this game could go in any direction. The X factor, as he will be in every game, is a guy from Norway, Joe. And I think he presents your chance to score from minute one. And I do believe he and how he's handled by United will determine who wins this game.
Yeah, obviously United, I mean, let's focus on them. They've looked so solid under Erik ten Hag in recent weeks, recent months, really. I think it's 8 games unbeaten in all competitions heading into this this one, which is absolutely crazy. And 4 straight wins in the Premier League. So it's just absolutely crazy. And I think actually it's 8 straight wins in all competitions. So pretty bonkers, to be honest, in that form. But when we look at them, if they win this game, Nick, they're only 1 point behind Manchester City in the Premier League table. So if City are in a title race with Arsenal, then surely if they win this, Manchester United are too. Do you buy into that?
Yes, I do. I didn't know how I was going to answer that until you asked it, but I do. There are a lot of good players on this team, and the malcontent is gone. Whether you believe that he was a malcontent before this year or not, he clearly was this year. And I think that was the statement. One of the biggest players in the world could have upset the apple cart, and Man United stuck by the guy they hired. And it's been a question with United for a while. Was Pogba bigger than Mourinho? Was it, right now there is no question again, for the first time, really. Van Gaal had his moments where we thought he was in charge, but he was also a bit older, so there was always a chance that he was going to leave. So for the first time since Sir Alex, I think there's no doubt who's in charge of this club. Even when Mourinho was there was always a chance that he could leave, that something combustible could happen. Erik ten Hag has pushed all the right buttons, and I think you have to favor them to continue some semblance of consistency. And also they have a few players in Sancho, Van de Beek. They have a few players who, if they put it together and find their best selves, that United can find another gear from where they are. So if they win this game, we have to have an even deeper discussion about them. And I know it's risky to base anything on 90 minutes, right? But I think in this instance, given what they've done for the last month, and given that Marcus Rashford looks like the player we were talking about 2 years ago, yeah, I think you have to think about it that way.
Yeah, what's it? 7 goals in his last 6 for Rashford. He's red hot.
2 goals in 5 minutes the other day.
Yeah, you got Bruno, who's had a brilliant World Cup, has been excellent, seems to have become the Bruno of 2 seasons ago, now that Ronaldo's not in the building, which is really intriguing to see him, puff out his chest and be like, all right, I'm the talisman again. I'm going to take over this team. You mentioned it, Casemiro and Varane, their experience is so key. Martial's been great. And then obviously Anthony as well is kind of getting up to speed now, it feels. And even players like Luke Shaw, even Wan-Bissaka has been excellent, filling in for Dalot at right back when he's been out injured. And obviously Lisandro Martinez coming back from the World Cup after winning it of Argentina, having him back. And his sort of battle with Haaland, I think I'm really looking forward to see that. So let's talk about that finally then, the key battles here. Is there any others you're looking forward to? Because I know you're a huge Rodri fan, and him against Casemiro in midfield, Haaland against Martinez, like I just said, and maybe Marcus Rashford against maybe Rico Lewis, the youngster. He was rested in midweek, and he's been playing really well. He might actually start at right back for City. So that's an intriguing battle as well. So a lot of great key tactical battles here. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, his brilliance and link up with Haaland, that's what swung the last Manchester derby in City's favour, and that 6-3 win earlier this season. So what key battles are you looking at, mate?
Yeah, well, the first battle is Erik ten Hag versus his own personnel choices. This has to be a real challenge for him. He's been one to use Christian Eriksen, who is, I think, second now in the Premier League in assists or something crazy like that. He's up there, which is saying something given where he has been in his career. I wonder if Harry Maguire doesn't start over Martinez, because I think Lisandro Martinez is a fantastic player. But I also wonder, when we do talk about his height, it's overblown. Is it overblown when you're talking about Erling Haaland? And so do you want some bigger boys out there? And in the midfield, do you want Fred out there with Casemiro instead of Eriksen? Or do you really think you're going to get possession? Does Erik ten Hag think they can keep the ball as much as he would like? So I want to know how he's viewing this game before I tell you exactly what the key battle is, because I would have told you, Rodri, Casemiro, who's gonna run that midfield? Well, is Fred the absolute nutty X factor, electric, energetic out there to really cause some chaos? I'm pumped for this game. Way more pumped than I've been for a Manchester derby in 5 years at least.
Oh, me too, mate. And I'm pumped as well because we saw what Pep Guardiola said ahead of this game. He said, I've got some ridiculous ideas for the Manchester Derby. So he usually is out there with sometimes of his tactical tweaks. We saw at the Champions League final against Chelsea, how for some big games, he almost overthinks it, right? And just changes it unnecessarily. So I don't think we're going to see anything crazy like Haaland playing on the wing or De Bruyne at left back. But whatever he's got planned, I'm intrigued to see it because I think now Man United have to be taken very seriously compared to when they played in October when Casemiro was just settling in, Anthony was just settling in, and it's a very different stage of the Erik Ten Hag project. And now we're about to see just how serious Man United are as potential title challengers this season, which would be way ahead of schedule for them. But given that Arsenal have had a few big injuries and Man City are just stumbling a little bit, United are one of the form teams, if not the form team in the Premier League right now. So it's going to be a fun one. Always is in the Manchester Derby. So head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for the how to watch info. We'll have live analysis during the game, recap, analysis and reaction afterwards as well. We'll have all angles covered as a massive, massive Manchester Derby takes place at Old Trafford.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.